Check, mic 2 1 2. Check, mic 2 1 2. Yeah. Check, mic 2 1 2. Check, mic 2 1 2. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. All right, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not fitting to do a whole lot of yelling. Okay, I'm not fitting to do that this time around. I'm going chill. All right, I'm going chill. Today, we're gonna go ahead and finish up this game so that I can then have fun and play it off stream as well. I've been trying to stay consistent. Every time I wanted to hop on this game, I pull up the stream so that y'all can see the journey. Today, the journey comes to an end. I cannot express how much love I have for this game, for these developers that made this game. I'm hoping that at some point in the future they decide to maybe maybe show interest in other classes. Because the Berserker class obviously is one of the many classes that they have in DFO. Um, this is probably the most fun I'll have with one of those classes because I'm a very melee based character fighter and I very much enjoy melee combat in every Souls game. I very rarely have ever played like a caster type character or anything like that. So this scratches a very good itch. I think that I would argue that this is either better or on par with Wukong in terms of combat. Story, yeah, you might be able to give points either way. I think that I enjoyed this story more, just a little bit more than Wukong. Um, but I make Wukong the closest comparison because of the fact that I feel like Wukong is Wukong and a lot of what it brought was really good. I think that in some ways this just brings some of that and more in terms of how it works. But I think Wukong, in terms of the transformations and things like that, has its own edge. But it's the closest thing I can compare it to because I literally can't compare this to any other Souls game because there aren't any other Souls game that play like this, if that makes sense. And they don't even consider Wukong a Souls game; they just consider that an action RPG. This, I think, definitely falls with it, Souls game. Um, so yeah, I very much enjoy this game. So we're gonna go ahead and continue to run through. If you guys have any issues with audio, go ahead and let me know. I'm gonna try to keep the peaking my mic to a minimum today because what I've noticed in like my VODs and stuff is that like I'll go to yell and you can't hear it. So I have to figure out how I can make sure that you guys can hear when I'm pissed off and yelling because some I've been told that it's pretty funny when I'm pissed. Um, so yeah, but in either way, we're gonna try to see if we can get this fight done today. This fight is hard. This fight is hard. I don't think, like, I don't believe Race was as difficult, but I do think that they're very difficult in their own right. So if this like is a hard stuck point for people, I can understand. too low to the ground. That's weird. He's not normally supposed to be that low to the ground. This is like where it all starts. He didn't miss. That is kind of annoying. Probably standing there and flash Shit. Okay, that might just be better for me to just fly that. I don't think I'm gonna make it through this one, to be honest with you. There's just too much bad on here. I came out of the transformation and he destroyed me. I wasn't ready for that. Alright, cool. Good shit on his part. It wasn't too bad. I'm just not making a good enough dent in his health bar. Let's see. I don't think I have any other heals to use, to be honest. I think I'm kind of just hooked on that. I'll figure something out. This shit is something. I'm gonna lie, this shit is something. This is like in his second phase, I don't have a good beat on his moves, and the crazy part is because his second phase has another phase. Like how this phase, like the indication. that whole like spinning bullshit, he very rarely does that. His move list is so extensive that I feel like not every run is the same. Like you don't get to get used to him that much. Because then he just does shit that you don't see often from him. Much like his fucking wife. It's just like shit that you don't even know he can do that he does, and it's just like, holy fuck. Where did he even get the ability to do it? You know? Not that I'm mad. Put that in. Like, he's not normally that close. I don't know why he can be that close, honestly. I gotta stop getting hit by shit I know. Up a lot. This run is not good. This run is dead. Like I have no interest in this. I'm just getting hit by everything. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I was getting hit by everything. I needed to get folded because I was just getting hit. It was actually crazy the amount of getting hit I was getting. Like, it was insane. That was getting fucked up. Alright. What? Okay. All right, judgment cuts. Just try to run, I guess, because trying to block it is just not worth the effort. Because it's like a multi-slash ability, but you can't really see all the slashes. But I guess the question is, how much can he actually do with it? I gotta get used to some of his tells, man. Some of these tells are really hard to look at. I need to see if I can set his second phase on fire at all. It'll probably be hard to do so. I'm gonna see. those. One of those. What is that doing? Jump attack. Yeah, I figured. I think we did way better that time. We did way better. I think I get it a little bit more now. A little bit. And he still can pull out some bullshit anytime. He's demonstrated that multiple times, but like, I think I did way better. I don't think I set him on fire at all. So he may not be weak to fire. He may not be weak to anything, to be honest with you. Shit like that. If he breaks my stance, I just need to move out of the way. Or I need to stand and parry, because trying to move out of the way right there was what I tried to do, and it just did not work. So, it's not worth it. But that sidestep is very rare. He doesn't really do that sidestep, like, raw like that. and why I make it into it. It's insane. Like, he is so strong in that second phase. And I gotta get used to it. I can't keep losing to it. But I also gotta stop making such bad mistakes in the first phase. I know about that follow-up. I know about the possibility of that follow-up, and I still fucking chose to hit. I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna get it right. Don't worry. Oh, I didn't know they exploded. Oh my fuck, yo, that's the best run I've had. That's the best run I've had. That's the best run I've had. I'm not gonna lie. He's hard, but I can't see. The tornado shit is annoying because I cannot see his attacks. If I could see his attacks, I would be happier. But I cannot see shit when he goes into that. And I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know he could do that. Alright. Avoid the meteor shit altogether. Good to know. I actually did pretty good at the first phase, which led me into getting farther in the second phase, so I think if I can get a perfect run on first phase, fuck, something in my eye. If I can get a perfect run on first phase, then I should be able to get this done, but this shit's hard, man. This boss is hard. He definitely feels like the boss for the end of this game. You know. He's one of those, like, everything led to this kind of, you know. And I fuck with that. I fuck with that. Getting a better read on his attacks and shit, so I'm trying to get as much. if there was like, if there was depth, like there are whole times where like I wouldn't even know what's going on because of the brain. The only reason I even knew he was going there was because of the sound there. Oh. Jeez, dude, this is crazy. This second phase, that shit is gonna be the death of me, bro. Oh shit. What? Why is there more? What is this? Oh my god! What? Oh my fucking god! It's not enough! It's not enough to just beat! God damn it! Oh my god, but it's not enough! Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough! remember he had some follow-up with the sword after that. Bullet hell, and I don't know how I'm supposed to best deal with that. That's insane, dude. This guy is crazy. Me down to the first phase, yo. Come on, man. Come on, man. The first phase, yo. The first phase? Nah, bro, that's not where I need to be done. I need to get to the second phase and win. I need to get to the second phase and fucking win, man. I'm not winning right now, bro. I need to win.
But go ahead and take off and then
Be right back. I gotta run to the bathroom. I've been sitting here for a bit. I'm back. I am like the most unlucky of unlucky people. I can't believe that that shit hit me like that. That shit. Fuck. I don't typically get hit by that. That's why I was like so confused. Also, it looks like if I don't interact with the arrow at all, he doesn't do the sword. Because every other time that I've like perfect guarded the arrow or guarded against the arrow, he comes in with the fucking sword. With that time. So I'm wondering if that. in my mind that I wouldn't be able to outrun this if I didn't have my stamina updated.
Why do you stubbornly refuse to understand?
Holy shit. Damn.
Kazan, I'm sorry.
Damn. Excuse me.
Fight him! Phantom, show yourself. It's over. It's all over.
Wait. Huh? Ozma's quarters a few days later. The Empire fell, reduced to ruins, leaving Kazan with nothing. The weight of killing Ozma with his helm hands is now impossible.
This sword.
Kazan, is this really for me? Thank you. You teach me to fight with it, and I'll teach you to use magic. Together, we'll be unstoppable.
How beautiful. Thank you, Kazan. I wish we could stay like this forever. The three of us together.
Reese.
There's nothing up here yet. Damn, is that us? Oh, wow. Damn, dude. Yeah, I'm doing a little slow walks because I'm trying to take it in, man. Fuck. Damn.
Reese, no! Reese, wake up, please.
Kill him! Kill the traitor!
To think we once called you a hero!
So, this is my reward for saving the Empire from the evil of Ismar. I see now. The real evil is humanity itself. Ozma, what was the point of ripping the world apart with your hatred?
Yeah. That's sad as fuck. That's sad as fuck. Bro turned into a generational crash out because of what they took from him. But I can't be mad at that. That makes perfect sense. They fucking killed this woman, man. Oh, was that it? Oh, okay, here we go. The day the moon rose, I came upon something extraordinary in Elravika's lab. It wasn't a substance, not in the usual sense. It was more like energy, power, nearly indistinguishable from air, yet this power might hold the key to bringing salvation to the world. In the fight against Hismar, Kazan and I risked everything. My strength fell short and I could barely offer him support. Just as Hismar prepared to unleash its final strike, Kazan lunged at it once more. My dearest friend charges forward, placing unwavering trust in me. How could I ever turn a blind eye to him? Chaos is wild and treacherous, but I had no choice. I had to wield its power. And finally Hismar fell. Kazan was unharmed, but this feeling of unease remained with me still. Oh, these are the pieces. Oh, this is why you needed to explore it. There's a bit of the Dark Moon then that I have missing. I did not find it all. Fuck. Okay. I came across the rumored prophecy in the royal archives. It tells of a song echoing through the Emperor's grand hall, praising the two wolves who brought down the berserk dragon. One day, the aged lion, the Emperor, will be torn apart by the fangs of the wolves. It's plain as day that the two wolves represent Kazan and I. Trying to track down the one who dared to utter such nonsense into the Emperor's ear under the guise of prophecy proved fruitless. They vanished without a trace, as if they had never existed at all. There's one thing that truly captured my attention. A symbol resembling a tearful eye in the prophecy matches the mark found in the substance I discovered on the day of the Black Meat Rose. Reese. I didn't find all of Reese's parts. Even with Hismar's death, paradise I longed for never came. No matter where I turn, all I see is hell stretched out before me. Kazan and Reese are gone, no longer by my side. Use as being the Emperor's greatest mage. There's nothing of me. There's nothing left of me now, just a hollow shell clinging to life against its will. How do I... Oh, here we go. Oh, man.
Phantom, it's time to return to where you came from.
I cannot. Charon commands me to stay. Chaos still remains, and so must I.
Cosmo. I'm sorry.
Man. That was good. That is a good fucking game right there. The Expert's Journey. After a difficult
You're still with me in the shadows. Like a
listen to the
phantom always
music.
on my mind. And I would save you from the gallows. But I know it's you I'll have to fight. We can either die as heroes or become the thing we always feared. And while we're enemies, I'll always hold you dear.
Now I don't know if that was the true ending though. That's the only thing, because it did say that there's multiple endings to this game, and considering how things just went, I will 100% play this again. Hey, that song right there, that's going straight to the Spotify. That was good as fuck. That was good. That was good as hell. I really fuck with this game. This game is very, very good. It's my contender. I'm not gonna lie. Whoa. They had 4 different voices. Oh, because, okay, that makes sense. Ben Starr. Hey, don't I know that name? I thought I've seen that name before. maybe I have this. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. This game was made with a lot of love, and I 100% need more games to demonstrate this level of love. The journey of playing through this entirely was so good. There's areas I didn't like. There's always going to be. You've reached the end of your journey. You can revisit and replay previously completed missions through the Spectral Portal, or start a new journey by speaking with Blade Phantom. Oh, do they have... I wonder if they have new dialogue.
You did it, General.
Oh, they do?
It was not easy, but you did it. I swear on my life that I will follow you until the end.
You made the right decision, sir. If you did anything else, things would have been much worse. I hope you can make peace with yourself. If you ever need me, just send word. I'll stand by your side, no matter what.
You saved us all, General. We want to help however we can. The Bantu never forget a debt.
Ooh, I can now get legendary gear, or epic gear. Does that mean my stuff upgraded to epic as well, like the craftable stuff?
Oh, look at that.
This man never had anything new to say. I went through this entire game, he never had anything new to say. It is crazy. Okay, so I can craft epic gear now. Awesome. Ozma's dual wield. Oh, you get like Ozma's look essentially. Phantom Bloody Sword Dance. That sounds awesome. I don't know what that does, but it sounds really cool. The amount of armor sets they have in this game are also insane. Like, this is a lot. This is a lot of armor sets. Like, this is incredible how many they have. And every single boss carries an armor set, which is really nice. It makes it more rewarding. Like, it's already rewarding when you kill them, but it makes it feel even more rewarding when that happens.
You have succeeded. But victory does not always mean happiness. Remember though, time heals all wounds.
I love this game. This is a great fucking game. This is my, like, and I'm gonna grind out, excuse me, I'm gonna grind out materials and stuff beforehand. I'm not gonna oh, I didn't talk to her.
So, this is Ozma's end. If we hadn't stopped him, he would have corrupted everyone. He would have destroyed the world.
No, and there's no denying that. But it's this story is sad, man.
You've defeated the Master of Chaos, but I can still sense rage within you. This may not be the end, but just the beginning of something else for you. Now you are strong enough to unlock. Tell me, what do you desire to gain from this? You require more soul stones to unlock more effects.
Does he need new dialogue, or does he just start a new quest?
Kazan, your mission is not over. Chaos is still at large. Become stronger. Fulfill your pact.
Alright, yeah, I'm not gonna begin the next journey just yet, because I'm almost certain the next journey includes New Game Plus. And New Game Plus is probably going to be a task and a half. So I'd rather have all of what I could possibly have beforehand. Excuse me. Before I try to go in and fight that. So I'm going to be watching some YouTube videos just to collect, you know, all of the different things I might need to collect before I start the New Game Plus. But yeah, my thoughts are this game was great. There are areas that I absolutely hate. I'm not looking forward to going back to some of those areas in New Game Plus, but I haven't run into a game yet where I genuinely would like to go back and play all of the areas in the game. I know there's going to be shit areas. There's literally shit areas every single time. The Poison Swamp is ass. The Plague Swamps are ass. Like, it's a lot of just straight ass. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, this was one of the best Souls games I think I've played in a while. And yes, I am comparing it to things like Lies. I think Lies was really good. I think this does a lot of things way better. Lies has its own appeal though. I think Lies... What the hell? Oh, these little jars have like little things they're doing. What the hell? I didn't realize like how different the jars were from each other. I don't even have anything I want to get from this dude. Does he have wood flame? Probably not.
Hey, I really do care about you. I know you'll keep at it until you find every last one of them. Yeah? Feeling drained, huh? Oh, come on. Just a few more. You're almost there.
How many are there left to get though is the question, because like I can't buy any of those. So how many are there left to buy? Fucking Jesus. Now this is also nice, the fact that I can come here and buy the material from him. I don't know how often his shop resets though. That's the only thing I don't know. What does my skill tree look like, I wonder? I have 2 more points to use. 69, nice. I guess I'll put them in here. Yeah, this game is really good. This game is really good. If you're thinking about, I mean, you guys have seen the whole journey, so you already know what I'm gonna say. If you're thinking about playing this game, don't hesitate. It is really, really good. I would recommend this to literally fucking anybody. I think that this is this is what that was for. These are the legendary weapons. Okay. That makes so much more sense. Those are legendary weapons that shit was telling me to craft. Okay. I'm curious then. How much does it take to craft them? I'm glad I actually came to look, because I didn't even know these got dropped into my inventory. Brink Dodge gives you earth attributes. Charged Attack gives you fire attributes. And then Brink Guard gives you lightning attributes. That's dope. That's dope as hell, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know they had like separate legendary weapons like that. That's really cool in my opinion. I didn't even know I could craft that stuff. This game is oh my god, this game's, I was thinking there was gonna be like someone here to play the loot, but there's no one. I don't know, like, did I need to get the bard to come here?
Took down Ozma. I know he was like a brother to you. But don't forget, what you did saved everyone.
Well, thank you for telling me that. That definitely gives me some happiness. I appreciate that. Okay, so now my question is, those were materials to craft them, but now I don't have the stuff to craft them. So now I'm confused. I'm assuming it wouldn't be in sets, right? It's not in sets. Damn, this has a whole fucking Jesus Christ. Yeah, now we'll be going down the path of the collectible for sure. This game is great. It's only been so many times I can say it, you know, like there's literally, oh thank God. I didn't know you had to do that to get it. Oh, thank Christ for that. Please, man. Awesome. Ozma looks crazy. Oh, is this telling me? Wait a minute. Is this telling me how many attempts? It's telling me how many. I didn't know that. She did not take one attempt. Okay, something's not right, because she didn't take one attempt. That's a lot. What? What are the numbers? I don't know what the numbers mean. This says 1, but I don't know why it says 1. If that makes sense. Like, I don't get why that says 1. This says 4, but I don't know why. It says 1. Main just says 1. What is that for? What does that mean? It says 12. It says 19. This makes me think this is how many attempts, but something's not right, because this took me more than 4. She definitely took me more than 1. She took me more than 1. He definitely took me more than 1. 12? But why? Like, I don't understand why this says 19. I didn't kill him 19 times, but I may have died to him 19 times, but I didn't kill him 19 times, so I have no idea what that number is. Pretty smooth. Scalpel. These were like, the game it just does so many things right, I feel like there's a lot, you know, there's some things that, yes, 100% could be worked on and improved. Yes, that is absolutely true. But for the most part, like, they did a lot of things right. Like, the guard system, the dodging, the attack patterns, the combos, the fact that bosses have weak points and shit. games do not. There are games like this. There are not enough games that think of weak points and think of giving people weak points. Like, they just don't. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. They just fucking don't. And it's so cool. I love this game though. This is a really good game. I am looking forward to anything else this company produces, because they clearly made this with a lot of love. You know, even with whatever faults it may have, those faults are like, I won't say they're minuscule, but they're not as bad as like other game faults. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this game got a lot right that other games sometimes struggle to get right. But I'm a huge fan. Now, what is... Do legendaries have fixed attributes? They do have fixed attributes. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, legendary gear is just better in general to get. Okay. Now the question is, does each part have like that attribute, or like how does it? I don't know. That's interesting. I wonder how that works. But yeah, this game was great. I don't know about perfect. There are some areas that I just wish weren't in the game, but that's just my personal opinion and my own frustrations with the areas in the game. But it's not to the point where I can sit there and be like, oh yeah, this was the worst thing I ever fucking experienced. Why did they ever do that? Like, it's not to that level, but there are definitely some areas in this game that I wish didn't exist. 100%. But for the most part, the bosses were great. The areas were awesome. I run into it enough. This is the one game where I feel like I didn't run into a boss that I vehemently hated. There are so many other games. Elden Ring has plenty of bosses where I just hate fighting them. I just hated it. Genuinely fucking hated the fight. Did not want to do it anymore. Did not even want to be there anymore. I hated everything about the fight. I do not feel like I ever got to a point with any of these bosses, which there are several. I don't think I ever got to a point where I hated the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the point where I didn't want to do it again. I'll even go through them. The spider, not bad. Once you learn about the breakable parts on the spider, it's really easy. I know a lot of people were complaining about the spider. I don't think the spider is that bad. If you can't get past the spider, you're gonna have a really fucking tough time beating the game, to be honest with you. Especially y'all just saw what the fuck I had to deal with the final boss. So if you're having a bad time with the spider, good luck with the rest of the game. Valerian, she's not bad. I think that the summons bullshit is bullshit. It's gonna be bullshit every game. It doesn't really matter who does it. R'hllana, fucking, well, I'm sorry, Rennala, or her, or the fucking boss that hides the shaded forest or whatever the fuck it's called. It's always gonna suck. It's always gonna suck. But she wasn't that bad. Blade Phantom, if you play him in the demo, him in the base game doesn't change. I'm going to say one of the things I'm not too happy about is the fact that, like, for the Phantoms, I felt like there was not... They did, like, one Phantom fight, and then they never did that again the rest of the game. I would have loved to have challenged the other Phantoms in order to unlock them. I think that was a cool way to do it for Keshta. I don't know why they didn't do that for the rest. So yeah, that was a little unfortunate. I think that's one of my biggest nitpicks, because I thought that that's what they were going to do, and then the rest of it was just gathering up other things. And I thought Keshta's, like, voice lines and shit were cool. Like, he was, you know, challenging you to see if you were worthy of his power, and I think that would have been cool for them to do that for the rest. But maybe they didn't have the budget, maybe they thought it was going to be too repetitive, they didn't have enough ideas, whatever the case is. Keshta was pretty repetitive to the original Blade Phantom, so I'm not super surprised I wouldn't be surprised if that was the reason. But I really would have liked to hear, like, voice lines and stuff like that for the other Phantoms. Elamane, probably still one of the saddest fights that I had to do. that felt terrible to have to kill her. I'm not gonna lie. It felt terrible to have to fight her again in her ghost form. It was just sad to do that all over again. But it was good. It was good. There's no denying that the game was good, that she was a good fighter. Her design was really good in terms of how she fought. I just think that she was really small, and that made it hard to like see her in combat sometimes, because she would go to swing and I'm like, okay, like how was I supposed to know? You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was weird. But either way, still a fun fight, but a very, very sad and very brutal end to this character. Hismar, definitely one of the better dragon fights that I've had. I think probably my favorite dragon fight that I've ever had. And that is including like Bale. I think the spectacle for Bale is higher, but I do think Hismar, in terms of mechanically, is a better fight overall. Kind of. In certain ways. Like, they both had the same head hitbox issue that every fucking dragon I've ever fought in any game has. But it's still pretty good. Like, I think that the combos that it can do are pretty straightforward. Even when it goes into the Chaos Energy form, it's not like the worst thing in the world to evade the attacks when you kind of figure it out. But yeah, fighting him and killing him, and the cutscene to killing him was really nice. Malika, I know Malika beat the dog shit out of people. I know Malika was giving people the fucking work. He gave me the work for a little bit until I realized how his parry mechanics work, and then I was like, well, now I'm just gonna beat the dog shit out of you. But he's difficult. He's difficult. I think he's supposed to be like the first major skill check. I know Viper is difficult for a lot of players too, but I think Malika is supposed to be the first major skill check of the game. Like, it's your midway point. You either fucking know how to play or you don't yet, and he's going to punish you if you don't by that time. He's not the worst in the world, and I do understand that he did get nerfed from the demo that people played, or whatever early access they played in. I did get early access, but I didn't fight him, I guess, when he wasn't nerfed. And I do take pride in fighting bosses before they get nerfed. Like, I did that in Elden Ring, because whatchamacallit, they nerfed Radahn like very shortly after I had beaten him, and I was like, yeah, I beat pre-nerf Radahn, let's go. But unfortunately they nerfed Malika, and I believe Malika and one other boss before I got the chance to fight them. But Malika is still a solid challenge. Ozma, I love that boss fight. It was hard, don't get me wrong, but the spectacle of the fight was everything that I expected for the final fight of this game. It was a perfect wrap up. It was a perfect lead up. The fight was crazy. His attack patterns was cool. I loved it. It was great. It was just hard. It was hard, but it actually took me less time to beat him than I anticipated. I thought I was going to be sitting here for like the better half of the day trying to beat him, and if that's right, and it only took me 19 attempts, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. So yeah, Ozma gets a lot of respect for me as a final boss. He's not quite Ishin. I think Ishin is still, in my personal experience with Souls games, still the best end boss. I know people will probably argue for Artorias, but I didn't play that game, so I can't speak on that. I did watch the fight for Artorias, but I can't speak on whether that was like the best. Elden Beast for sure, isn't it? The Nameless Puppet is up there too, but I think Ishin slightly edges out the Nameless Puppet. But this, in terms of the story and the meaning behind having to go and fight him, and you finding out halfway through that you're gonna have to fight and defeat him, yeah, like that was a lot, but it was really good. I really enjoyed this fight. Yeah, that's it. He was bullet hell for a little bit, but it's not overbearing. I feel like a lot of games, like the Elden Beast, is like dog shit in comparison to this guy, because he does bullet hell, but I feel like they do it right. So I'm super happy about that. Princess Elena, this is the rapier chick. She was cool, but the same problem with Elamine. She was really small, so like certain attacks, I just couldn't even tell what was going on. Like when she would do the flurry of like stabs, it was so hard to like actually read it because you can't see the attacks. It was so strange. And you can't, like, you can angle the camera, but when you're locked on, it's not like a good angling, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to literally angle yourself, like your physical body, so that you can see her striking arm. I don't know if that was intentional, and I have been asking for more bosses that are our size, because more often than not, we end up with bosses that are fucking big as shit. Like, Godfrey is supposed to be a human, and that motherfucker is ridiculously large for somebody that's supposed to look like a human. Radahn wasn't always that fucking big, turned into a goddamn giant, and if you're too close to him, you cannot see anything. So I do appreciate them making human-sized bosses, and for some reason, this game does not handle that all that well. I know, whatchamacallit, I know that Sekiro also has relatively human-sized bosses. I don't know about Gyobu. Gyobu's fucking ridiculously large for a human. But, like, most of those bosses are also tall as shit. Now, I know Sekiro probably isn't super tall, but Sekiro look like he's like 5 foot. Like, it's insane. But, getting off topic, she was really small, but I did enjoy her fight. And I also love the theater that they put, you know, like her raising her own audience for the fight and like the chorus thing. I thought that was cool as hell. So yeah, Rankus, I have nothing good to say about Rankus. I did not enjoy the fight as much as other fights. I think that if I were to rank a fight, he's probably at the literal bottom of the barrel. I don't have anything positive to say about the fight. I just feel like he was just kind of there, but I'm not. That being said, I don't have anything positive, but I don't have anything majorly negative. He's just not that creative of a boss fight in comparison to all of the other bosses in this game surrounding him. So I would probably pin him at the bottom of the list. Rhys, a beautiful fight. Beautiful fucking soundtrack for the fight. It was the first phase into second phase was fantastic, but the actual, I think in terms of emotional pull, she had the best cutscene. Even better, in my opinion, than Osmond's, because you wouldn't have even imagined that he would have done something like that with her. Well, she was already dead. So it's like, Kazan, this being the first time seeing her, and he realizes that she's corrupted, that was a crazy moment. And the music that played during that fight was amazing. It was really, really good. So Rhys is a very good boss, especially for her being the second to last boss in the game. Very, very good boss. I enjoyed her a lot. Shaktuka, in terms of like beast fights, I think he was pretty good. Nothing too bad to say about him. I know like he has the plague debuff and shit, but he's not super bad once you learn how he works. And actually he prepares you for some other enemies that you run into later on in the game, because they have attacks that are very similar. At least in regard to like the little head charge he does. But yeah, I don't have anything major to say about him. He's him. Scalpel. There's this, and I said this during the time that I fought him, but this boss is the closest we'll ever get, I think, to something that feels like it should be in Bloodborne that's not in Bloodborne. This boss was really cool. I definitely enjoyed my time fighting him. He's hard, don't get me wrong, he's very difficult, but he is very enjoyable if you know how his attacks work. If you don't, you're gonna get cooked. If you do, it's gonna reward you for knowing how to fight him. So I definitely enjoyed Scalpel a lot. Troka, this is the true bullet hell character in the game. Like, she does nothing but ranged projectiles for the most part. She has like a couple of melees, but that's not the point. she's literally like bullet hell the character. I had a lot of respect for this fight because I feel like they did the bullet hell right. Again, there are examples of bullet hell that's wrong, and I always look at the Elden Beast for that because I hate fighting the Elden Beast for that reason. Like, he just throws a bunch of shit all at the same time, mind you. So you're having to evade a whole bunch of other bullshit, and then he starts throwing other projectiles. So it's just super annoying. But she's not bad in terms of a projectile-based character. Now, I might have a different opinion fighting her with a different weapon, because Flash Cutter is what was making that so easy in terms of like closing the distance when she starts her projectiles. But I don't have Flash Cutter on other weapons, so I don't know how that's going to work out. But so far as I'm concerned, she wasn't that bad of a boss. So, you know, I give credit where credit's due. Viper. This was the noob crunching boss, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I could probably go in and beat the living dog shit out of Viper right now. I could go and beat the living dog shit out of Viper with nothing to fight him with. You know what I'm saying? In comparison to everything else I fought, Viper is not that bad. I thought he was when I first fought him, and I still think, like, for beginning players, he's gonna be a challenge if people haven't already beat him, but I'm sure majority of people that are playing this game have beat him at this point. If you got clocked out at this boss, that was probably for the best, because a couple of bosses after this is Malika, and Malika would have absolutely dog walked people if they had struggled with Viper. So yeah. But Viper is a good boss. Volbino. His aesthetics for his fight were really cool. The hammer and chisel thing, that was actually really cool. And the way he implemented his attacks, awesome. Like that, they were really, really, really cool. Now the way he ran at people was strange. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but it was it's really good. It was a really good dude. I appreciated the fight. His burst attack was a little weird though. I don't know why, but like the one where he would run, the burst attack sometimes just felt like it was weird to time. I think that was the burst attack, one of the burst attacks I had the most trouble with, outside of like the spider's burst attack when he does the sweep. But yeah, Albino was a good fight. I don't have much bad to say. And Yatuka, this was actually a pretty good boss fight for the beginning of the game. And it prepares you for like quite a lot of other enemies that fight very, very similar to him. So yeah, I don't have much to say about Yatuka. I thought his fight was cool. The ice shards on his back being a weakness is, again, a really good touch. I need more games to do that. But yeah, really good fight. So ultimately, I would say Ozma, Reese, Malika at times. Those are probably my top 3 favorite fights in the game. And which makes sense because they're like the final bosses and stuff, so it makes sense. But far too often do we get final bosses that are just a pain in the ass all the time. So I'm glad that this game, you know, had some very fun and intriguing bosses. Now there are probably some, and I'm not going to go through them right now, but there are probably some enemies that like I could go without having to fight again, because some of them. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what enemy I hate the most. Where the fuck is he? This shit. This motherfucker right here. Fuck this guy. This rapier dude, fuck this goddamn thing, dude. I hated fighting this. Every single time I saw one of these motherfuckers, I did everything I possibly could to end that fight as quickly as possible. I hated fighting this thing. And it's like the only thing. It's the only one that I absolutely hated, but yeah, I hated that guy. This thing was weird too. It was strange. So the enemy variety in this game is really good. Towards the end of the game, you start to see more of the same, but the enemy variety was dope. I thought it was damn good. The elite boss fights added some flavor, but I think in terms of the enemy variety, they did a great job in my opinion. I think they did pretty good. But that's gonna be it for me, guys, and that's gonna be it for my time streaming Kazan. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. Thank you guys for being here, for supporting, for talking, for chatting, for all of the things. Again, if you guys have any suggestions on my streaming setup or any audio problems or anything I could do better so the viewing experience is better, please feel free to let me know. I think the next single player game that I'll be streaming will be Overture, or Lies of P Overture, when that DLC comes out. I'll also be streaming, sometimes you'll catch me streaming like multiplayer games like Rivals and stuff with friends. But in terms of single player, I think Lies of P Overture will be the next one. Only because I'm a huge fan of Lies of P, and I think I'll stream that journey as well. But I think this took me what, like 2 weeks? This came out March 27th? Well, 24th for me. So yeah, probably about 2 to 3 weeks for the game, and that's just playing for you guys when I'm on stream. So yeah, overall great game. I loved it. So yeah, you guys take care, and I will catch you guys on the next journey.